Hey guys, did you hate me saying hey guys? I'll never say it again, I promise. Hello everyone. This is the new ProjectSAM Colours library. There are now 3 as a trilogy. 3 colours, Adaptive, Runs, Animator and Orchestrator. And Animator and Orchestrator have had little updates, mainly to do with the UI, and this is all new. And so what this is, as you might guess, is runs. They go up and they go down, and they're major and they're minor, and they can bounce around, and you've got this engine here that was from their Pandora series where it's all timed to the beats or just ahead of the beats or whatever. So it's an absolute dream to use is the idea. And it covers strings, winds, and there's a little bit of brass, some trumpets you get in there as well in some of the patches. And they're all, did I say this already? Major and minor is pretty much your lot, although there are some chromatic runs for the trumpet. So how does it work? Is it any good? Well, you as ever can be the judge. So, we're off. This is strings and winds full range runs. So, that's our basics. Going up to. And then, you see this blue range here? That just repeats an octave, and I've got to be honest, I don't quite get the point of that. Purple range is what you're looking at here, because the blue is just this repeat. So let's dive in here and see what we can do. First of all, you've got strings and woodwinds on separate faders, so we take that right down. That's just the strings. We take this right down. That's the woodwinds. And you can just mute like so. Okay, so far so fine. Let's start seeing its tricks then. If you haven't seen this before, this is this very clever mode that it syncs to the beat. So if I just start Cubase now in the background, listen to that famous click and it always hits the downbeat no matter where you hit it, how unmusical you are. And for me, this is great. It just knows what. Because it's actually a pretty big library, so 30 gigabytes, which for a small library is huge. And I think they've recorded so many different examples is the reason why. So you get the idea there. I'll turn off the metronome before you go mad. As well, you can vary the range. Now, if you click this to, these dots mean a shorter run. And it's a short as in musically short. You can determine the length here. So they give you this warning down here. I don't know if you saw when I collected it. It said if you change the basic thing, it might not always sound realistic. And so you have to get a combination here that works nicely. That's really useful. That's like a little grace note. Now I've taken the length of it down and shortened it. The two work quite well together. If I artificially make it longer... Actually, that sounded pretty good, didn't it? Much longer than that, and it will start sounding... It's still quite good. It is, you can tell. It's time stretched. If you go to extremes on this thing, it might not sound its best. But this is the point. You can fairly easily just get a setting that works for you. All this works in downbeat mode as well. I'm just turning off the metronome because I've done that trick and the metronome's boring. And likewise, here's the other way. So we'll probably want a longer range here for, let's pick 4 beats and see what... And there we go. So that's all I'm doing is runs up at the moment. The velocity is controlling major or minor keys. So if I press quietly, let's just take this back to a not such a long run. Or if I press it... That's now minor when I'm hitting the key less hard. Now, I don't know about you, but a lot of their range of late has used velocity switching, and I'm not the greatest fan of velocity switching, and so, delightfully, I can now control that. If you click the control, now we're on to key switch. And then the up-down control, I haven't even played you any downs yet, it's very remiss of me, is done on CC. That's good, that works for me. So I can also choose more key switches or velocity filter. Let me pass on. I'll have to look that up. Honestly, I don't know what that is. I've only just noticed it. So in this case now, did I do that? What did I do? Key switch, right? Okay. Silly me, I'd forgotten. I've got to set the key switch. There we go. So if I want right down the bottom of my keyboard, we'll have CO there, and here we'll have C1. So that's set the key switch now. Minor and major, and I'm much happier with that. So that's how I would work. And finally, there they go. They go down when I push up the mod wheel. Up, down. And while we're here, I've got my pedal here. And if you want it to keep going and going and going, you just hold the sustain pedal, which is kind of logical. Or not. Why didn't that work? Oh, because I hadn't pressed the button. Oh dear, oh dear. And when you release the sustain pedal, it lets the phrase come to its natural ending. I'm just going to shorten this a little more again. You have control here of the release. Let's turn off the reverb so you can hear its natural sound. So you hear that. It's now more truncated. It's still... That's not working for me, I'll be honest. When I tried on a patch earlier, that seemed to work. So that's a bit of a mystery. Maybe I've got to turn it on somewhere. You can tell I'm still a little bit new to this. Well, that's working. Don't know. On the plus side, I'll never touch it. So there is that. That's what that GUI is. I've shown you the pedal. Ah, the mics. That's what I hadn't done. I knew there was something important. So let's quickly whiz through these. Here's going through 4 mic positions. Let's activate... No, let's just do one at a time. I'll turn off the reverb. I know you're screaming at me to turn it off. Okay. Sustain. That's stage. Okay. F. Far, I think. And finally, the wide. Read the manual, aren't I? And you can, of course, mix and match. Typically, what I often find, I think the F and the W, I'm always happy with 3 positions maximum. You're obviously got more width, and I think you can probably route that. There you go. You can route that to surround if you work in surround. Generally in these, I find I like a combination of stage, and then often I want to mix a bit more close in to give it more definition than the standard thing. So anyway, but the mix works. That would work on 95% of times for me. Oh, this little one, I did forget to show you that. I'm just kind of bouncing around a little here. With this downbeat mode, I'll start off that delightful metronome again. With this collect, it just hits just ahead of the beat. So it's almost like a half beat ahead. That sometimes musically that might work better for you. And there's a quantized mode there, which is always on in downbeat. But stop that. And then it's off there. Okay, so that's the whole interface really. I think I've been around everything you can do. I've shown you the controls there. I've shown you all that. So let's whiz through. A lot of these are variations of the same thing, but some of them are different. In this case, we have high strings and winds. Let's go up again. So here we have violin, we have flute. Let's just give you the flute. And here we have the piccolo. Want a bit more piccolo? There you go. And perhaps the strings are very dominant in that mix, so if you want something a bit more flighty, and woodwindy. It's just as simple as doing that. Flutes and piccolo runs. This, I think, pretty much offers what I've just shown you, except there's no... Oh, not high enough, of course. There we go. So ranges and stuff might vary between these patches, I guess. Now, let's see one with trumpets in them. We have here violin, flute and trumpet. Again, the violins are quite dominant in there, aren't they? So let's just pull them back a little. Trumpets are coming through now. Really nice to have them as an additional offering. Let's just have a few more. Those tiny little graces are really nice. I really like the short version. That's as short as we can go. So it doesn't have to be the big majestic crescendo. It can just be these little flourishes that are very nice. Just want to hear trumpets on their own. You probably do, don't you? Let's move this back. Go to the standard sort of setup. Bit of close. You want to hear a bit of close on there? Okay. Very nice. Low strings and winds. I stuffed up starter. Okay, strings on their own full range runs. Let's tip that up to there and gives you a little indication, I think. With the, you see what turns red? It's kind of saying, might not be the best for this position, I think. And when it's purple, it's in the range that it suggests is going to be good. That sounds pretty good even on that, even though it's turned red. You hear the sections coming in and out, don't you? You hear the low end and the high come in, but that's musically natural, I think. And if you want to balance that stuff, there's a patch in a moment that will do that. This one is just violins. Okay, and then this is one where you've got the 3 string sections. Oh no, it's not. I lied. I can hear some of you screaming. You know, got to be honest, that would be nice. I thought there was a patch that did that, but I may be mistaken. Where you could just balance those different elements and automate them a little if you wanted to just ease in those transitions more. Winds we have here. It's all much of a muchness here that is just giving you the option to have... If you know you only need winds, you just load the winds, and this is just the flutes. And this will just be the piccolos. Okay. Now, these oboes, clarinets, bassoons run, so we're still in the wind section. So those are your... They've bunched those together, piccolo and flutes you got on your own. We're heading to the first of our sort of slightly different patches now, which is flutes effects. There's only a couple here, but more of these O-tonal rips. Just have those 2. Here's the... What's it doing? That's Cubase doing its thing. Here's just the trumpets. And here's the only thing, because I think this will... If there's one kind of thing that you overall think, yeah, it would have been nice to have more chromatics in here, that we only have trumpets playing chromatics. And it's amazing. It's like I said, it's 30 gigabytes as it is. And so I suppose they just kind of went, it's going to be so massive to kind of do that for everything else that they decided to limit it in that way. Bit of a shame. I've got to be honest, major and minor is nearly always what I do reach for, but, you know, chromatic is the other bigger one. I know some runs libraries have all kinds of variations of natural and harmonic minors and all these kind of things, and I'm always, that's a very, very subtle difference. So I get the kind of major and minor thing. Chromatic would have been the icing on the cake. So there we go. That's adaptive runs. I'm just going to just going to do a little coda for you at the end, just to show you the interface changes on the other two colours series. I love Animator. I've used it an awful lot. Let's pick... it was quite fun, isn't it? Let's just do it on that one. So we have all the controls that we used to have. This still does its groovy little move everything at once. You can switch on and off sections. You see, if you only need one, you can do that. That's the sound of my radiator you can hear, in case you were all wondering. Switching off. And you've got speed adjustment for... That's way slow, isn't it? That's crazy. Or you can do speed adjustment for everything at once. These controls definitely work, so I was playing with those. I'll just change the reverb as well. Now, it's kind of useful for me, this, because I like using these kind of one-shot patches with the release absolutely shoved up to maximum, so I just have to hit them, and they end. The decay is so minute you can't even tell, so it just means that I don't accidentally chop the end off anything. Sometimes short patches, I prefer having the releases really long. Okay, so that's across. I mean, I've got somewhere an Animator video you can dig out if you want to see what that's all about, but that just shows you the changes in the interface. And Orchestrator, which I don't turn to often enough because it does sound absolutely lovely. Now the change here is, you can see, you watch this section here as I go between one chord and another. And you can adjust these points. You can, if I drag that early, I can drag that. Oh, it's sort of an overlap thing, isn't it? You can set this, you can have a louder transition if you want. Oops. What happens if I turn it right down? That's just cross-fading from one set of samples to the other and leaving the transitions out. Look under the hood here, you've got a legato speed control as well. So that's making it as long as possible. So you can fiddle with that to your heart's content. I find those kind of tweaks fairly minor, and to my ears, they've kind of generally smoothed everything out in this version. That it sounds really nice. I remember there was a few bumps when I was using the first version, and I don't hear any problems with that. So if I just take this back down to 100%. Wasn't that thrilled with that overlap. I think that, yeah, I've made that crossfade a little bit too long, haven't I? Let's try that. That's sounding like it's natural to me. Here's the thing, I think the default settings work very, very well. So having given all this control, I don't really want to use it very much. And again, you've got this control over your mapping and so on and so forth. The control, you've got that stuff as well. Okay, that's a look through the update for the Colours series. I've been typically all over the place. That's how I am in life, everyone. That I'm not very good at reading manuals, and if something doesn't work and I can't figure it out in 10 seconds, then I'll start complaining. But in this case, you've seen me screw up, and I've pretty much figured out how I've screwed up in 10 seconds. So to me, it's a kind of a pretty real-world test and an excellent justification of my slovenly attitude to this kind of thing. There we are. I hope you've got something out of that. I think it's a really nice addition to the arsenal. Maybe in time, let's have a few more chromatics in there. Maybe, but I know that's a big ask. In all other ways, it's a terrific product. And that's it, and I'm waffling. So I'll see you all on another one. Bye-bye-bye.